LoreRim 4.0, the future of Skyblivion. These are just some of the topics that I'll be talking about in today's video. This is a different style to what I usually post, but if you end up liking it, let me know and I'll start working on some more alongside my regular mod showcases. So without further ado, let's go over all the recent news that you might have missed. Okay, so starting off, I wanted to talk about the newly released LoreRim 4.0. For those that don't know, this is an incredible mod list created by Biggie Boss, overhauling just about every aspect you could possibly think of. Just last week, LoreRim got its biggest update yet, introducing new systems, fresh content, and a ton of balance improvements. Using this Reddit post made by the creator themselves, we can see a list of the most notable changes that have come with the latest version. One of the standout features is the brand new character creation system, and no, we're not talking about your appearance. You can now start your journey by choosing birth signs, selecting traits, and assigning major and minor skills, giving your character a real sense of identity right from the start. To keep things interesting in the long run, the update also brings in several dozen perks pulled from Ordinator, carefully blended with Requiem's existing system, giving you more builds to experiment with in-game. In terms of new content, 4.0 adds the Grey Cowl of Nocturnal 10th Anniversary Edition, a huge mod that I also made a video on if you're interested, and Sleepwalking into a Nightmare, a Daedric Prince quest that will send you into the nightmares of a missing woman and help overcome her fears. We've got better performance thanks to a fairly new SKSE plugin known as Terrain Helper for EMB. Of course, there are a load of bug fixes and general balance changes that aim to further improve your experience. I don't want to go too in depth as I might make a standalone video covering this mod list in the near future, but if you're a previous user of LoreRim or you're looking to try it out for the very first time, well, now is the perfect opportunity to do so. Skyblivion is one of, if not the most anticipated mod of all time, aiming to completely remake Oblivion using Skyrim's engine with a scheduled release date for 2025. Now, as I'm sure you're aware of, we also recently got the surprise shadow drop of Oblivion Remastered, and you might be wondering what kind of effect that's had on the team. Well, if anything, it only boosted their momentum. Rather than treating it like competition, they've actually just embraced it. In fact, Bethesda themselves reached out to show support, gifting the entire Skyblivion dev team codes for Oblivion Remastered, and even inviting them out to Bethesda HQ. The lead developer of Skyblivion recently had an interview with Games Radar and went on to say, "For now, it changes nothing about our plans. We intend to release it this year still," and ends off by saying, "I think there is room for both a remake and a remaster." When asked about the future of Skyblivion, they responded with, "We will keep working on bug fixes and the DLC after the release. Other than that, only time will tell what's happening." So in the end, it seems that this truly will be an amazing year for fans of the Elder Scrolls. For years, PlayStation players have watched from the sidelines as the Skyrim modding scene flourished on PC and Xbox, but now that gap is starting to close. Just recently, the massive DLC-sized mod Wyrmstooth was successfully ported to PlayStation. This fan-favorite expansion adds a new island, a full questline, dungeons, voice acting, and it's now available for PlayStation users. While some players have been reporting a couple technical issues, this marks a significant milestone for console modding. And if you're excited about that, well, we also have Moonpath to Elsweyr. This fan-favorite quest mod takes you on an unforgettable journey to the homeland of the Khajiit, introducing new quests, characters, and a beautifully crafted landscape. Of course, PlayStation mods still face certain restrictions, especially regarding external assets. But the successful porting of these complex mods is so great to see, and I'm sure it's only a matter of time before more big names are brought over. Which mod are you hoping for next? Now, something that's got modders excited is the release of Object Impact Framework, or OIF for short. This SKSE plugin, which dropped towards the beginning of May, is perfect for those looking to add dynamic interactions to Skyrim. So what exactly does it do? Pretty much, it allows modders to set custom effects for objects when they're activated, grabbed, released, thrown, or hit. That's exactly what the Dwarven Grenade mod does using OIF. It takes Centurion Dynamo cores and turns them into actual grenades for you to use in combat. Then there's another mod called Spider's Hatch, which brings an entirely different kind of chaos. Every time you attack or harvest spider egg sacs, you'll now have to face off against a horde of tiny spiders that have even been modified to be faster than their normal selves. These are just some of the many mods that can now be implemented thanks to this framework, so if you're a modder or just someone who loves to see Skyrim get even more interactive, then this is definitely one to keep an eye on. Skywind is another total conversion mod that aims to remake Morrowind using Skyrim's engine. It's been a few months since their last upload, but they've just shared a brand new gameplay demo, so let's take a look. This highlights one of the many quests included with the mod, where the player is sent on a rescue mission through the Ashlands to the Daedric ruin of Ashurnabibi. The video showcases a number of exciting features, from underwater combat to some of the most iconic spells in Morrowind, like Mark and Recall, which allows players to set a location and teleport back to it later on. Familiar foes such as Scamps and Daedroths make a return, which stay true to their original design whilst taking full advantage of Skyrim's capabilities. Towards the end, we get a look at an updated progress report, which I'd also like to go over. For starters, all of the base game 2D art is complete, with ongoing work for some additional assets. The core writing has been finalized, and voice acting is nearly complete, with only a few roles remaining to be cast. Spellcrafting and the user interface are approaching completion, and the most essential creatures have been modelled. Approximately 60% of interior levels are finished, while exterior regions like Red Mountain and the Ashlands are still in development. Whilst we still don't have an official release date at this time, this project is definitely on its way to completion, and it's only a matter of time before we get to experience it for ourselves. The final thing I wanted to highlight is that mod author wSkeever has surpassed over 50 million unique downloads on Nexus, making them the first to ever reach this incredible milestone. For those unfamiliar with their work, they've honestly made so many mods over the years that I really can't give you a specific one that they're best known for. Chances are, if you've ever modded Skyrim, you've used one of theirs without even realizing it. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering how exactly we know this. Well, Reddit user Sonefrowak actually put together a spreadsheet that tracks the top mod authors across the entire Nexus site, listing both total unique downloads and their most endorsed mod. In wSkeever's case, Assorted Mesh Fixes takes the #1 spot. This fixes a load of smaller issues across Skyrim, stuff you probably didn't even notice was broken until it's fixed. This is a huge moment, and just goes to show how active the modding community is even after all this time. So there you have it, all of the latest Skyrim modding news that you might have missed. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.